every day from the shutdown into the lockdown.
Hello, I'm Thomas from Noëma, a Vienna-based prog rock band. We are writing music at the moment, and in this video I would like to share a little bit insight about what's going on and how we do that. Today I will focus on melody, so what is important, what you need to take care about when you write a melody for a song. The Noëma song you heard at the beginning of this video is called Sweet Devil No Name. We are currently finalizing it and we plan to release it later this year. I want to analyze a melody of it to show you what I found important when writing it. You can see the score of the melody now on the screen, but first let's have a listen. Before we jump into the analysis, I will share some basic concepts of melody writing with you. I put together a few bullet points you might find useful when writing melodies for songs. So first, style. It makes a big difference if you're writing a samba tune or a rock song. A ballad's melody will differ from metal screaming and shouting. Folk tunes work differently than jazz standards. This is also due to different tempos and time signatures. A ballad will be slower than a classic rock and roll song, and the time signature of this ballad might be 6/8 instead of 4/4. Tempo and time signature will influence the rhythm and the phrasing. When you start writing a melody, you should be aware about the entire structure of the song. Will it appear in the verse, in the chorus, or in another part of the composition? If it will be part of the chorus, it should be hooky, maybe some ear candy you might remember. When you have decided to write the melody, for instance, for the verse, it is advisable to be aware of its length, so how many bars it has got. On the other hand, it can be very helpful to already have lyrics at this point. Or you write the melody and the lyricist can take it as an input. That works as well. Here we come to a very important part of melody writing, and that is the phrasing. A musical phrase is a piece of music inside a part, like for instance the verse or the chorus, which builds one unit. It has got a start, it got an end, and you should also feel that. Often this is driven by the lyrics. One line of lyrics could also correspond to a musical phrase. In any kind of music, baroque, classic, romantic, pop, rock, you name it, rhythm is not only driven by the rhythm section, but also by melodies. When writing vocal melodies, there's a challenge, as the rhythm of the melody needs to meet style on the one hand, and the rhythm of the lyrics on the other hand. In every musical bar you have strong beats, sometimes called downbeats, and other beats, upbeats. Often it makes sense to position strong or important syllables, words of the lyrics, on strong beats like the 1 or the 3. Also for notes of a scale, a kind of hierarchy exists. The tones of the underlying chord, especially the root, are stronger than the other ones. So you might use such notes to emphasize important words or syllables. Dynamics in pop and rock music. Dynamics do not play an important role, besides ballads maybe. Everything is pretty much compressed and limited by the sound engineers and on the same level of loudness. In other genres, dynamics are very important, are a very important mean of musical expression though. Now let's come to harmonies. Harmonies are very important. Is the song in a major or in a minor scale? What is the harmonic rhythm? What does it mean? Or better, in other words, how often chords change? Is there a lot of modulation? Or does that song stay always in the same scale? Scales, of course. This will make a huge difference. Will you use an Ionian, Mixolydian or even a Dorian scale? Not to mention some ethnic scales used in folk music in countries all over the world. Eventually the scale is the note reservoir you can choose from when writing your melody. Now to something more theoretic, types of tone sequences. What do I mean by that? Well, a melody can follow exactly the scale. In this case, we name it a conjunct melody. One example, if a melody in C major goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, it is perfectly conjunct. On the opposite, melodies that skip notes of the scale are called disjunct. For instance, chord arpeggios. Now, why is this important? Why you should take into consideration these things? Because it can make a melody more interesting and versatile if you mix these kind of techniques. However, all in all, everything I said before are tools you can use with one aim: to create musical expression, to create a mood, and to create emotion, so to leave the listener with a pleasant experience. These are tips, not rules. These are tips you can start with and develop your personal style from there. Nothing is wrong when creating music if it sounds good. And what sounds good, you as a composer decide in the first step. So enough theory. Let's jump back to Sweet Devil No Name to see how this works in real life. So, what have we got concerning style, tempo and time signature? We have a rock tune. Tempo is the quarter, 132 beats a minute, which is neither slow nor up-tempo, and the time signature simply 4/4. So nothing that will drive us in a certain direction or even limit us when writing a melody. However, for this tempo, 8 and quarter notes are really convenient to sing. Let's jump to structure, phrasing and lyrics. The song, the entire song, not only what you see here on the screen, consists of an intro. It has several verses, pre-choruses, choruses, and in the end a long outro part. You will hear it once it is released. The phrase shown here is a part of the verse. The entire verse consists of 3 phrases, 2 of them with vocals and 1 instrumental. Every phrase is 6 bars long. every musical phrase covers exactly one line of the lyrics. So the lyrics are a day like every day from the shock down to the lockdown. Now this is important. It does not matter if you have given lyrics and write the melody for them, or the other way around. When you write vocal melodies, you need to combine the lyrics and the music in a way that every independent line of the lyrics will be matched with a musical phrase. And this is just the beginning of the challenge. What about the word accents, for instance? And here we come to the rhythm. The underlying rhythm in the bass guitar and electric guitar is a distinctive 16th and 8th groove. But I decided not to use it for the vocal melody. It would be too much movement. So this melody with its eighths and quarter notes glues the part together. Of course, you can do it the other way around. I mean, that your vocal melody will drive the rhythm of the song. That's possible. There are some examples. For instance, One Note Samba by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Check it out. Or Whatever You Want from Status Quo. Coming back to the lyrics, you've got important words and maybe less important ones. In music it is the same. Some notes are more important, others less. But why? There can be two reasons. One lies in the combination of scale with the underlying chord. The second in the rhythm. Let's start with the second one. As I already mentioned, there are strong times in the bar and less strong ones. So you can choose the strong times for important words or syllables and such put emphasis on them. In our song, the words shock and lock I find are the strongest ones. You will find both of them on the one. The strongest place you can find in any bar. This is not the only decision I took to show their importance, as these tones are dotted quarters. They are the longest ones of the entire phrase. Then comes the first day, a day like every day. It is positioned on the 3, another downbeat. The word a from a day is not important at all, and therefore it's positioned here on the 2 and. So we have 1, 2, and then comes the 3. A place here which has no emphasis at all. The quarters from like every day, like every day, are all offbeat, which gives the melody some spice, if you want. As mentioned before, dynamics do not play a big role in rock music. This is also true for this song here. So let's come to the harmonic structure and to the scales. The harmonic structure here is called chromatic median relationship or third relationship. If you're interested in this concept, I have done a video on it. You will find the link in the video description. I'm using 3 chords, A, F and D, all major, and such are the scales for the melody, A, F and D, Ionian, nothing special. Okay, coming to the types of tone sequences. The first 2 bars here are rather disjunct. You can find the A major chord even with the seventh. So it starts here with an E, which is the fifth, with a C sharp, which is the third, and then here we got the A, which is the root, and we have got the G, which is basically the seventh. This D here in the first bar, it's just a kind of musical ornament. You know, it comes from the C sharp and goes back to the C sharp immediately. And these two Bs, well, they build a kind of anacrisis to the third bar, so they lead to the third bar. And from there, the melody is really conjunct. So it's going down in full tones and half tones. Now let's come to the most important thing, the musical expression, the mood, the emotions, eventually. Well, the entire song is a rant about COVID and how we all dealt with it. It starts really sad, then turns angry, especially in the chorus, and in the end there is a shimmer of hope and optimism. Well, the phrase we are now analyzing is the sad part. When we look at the melody, it first goes up and then it goes down. This reflects the normal speaking melody of any statement. When you build a sentence, your voice melody goes up first and then goes down when the sentence ends. Question, of course, works different. The entire phrase can be divided in two parts, subphrases if you like. The first subphrase covers a day like every day from the shock down. So this is important because when singing the melody, it is really advisable not to breathe within such a phrase, as otherwise it would be interrupted or even destroyed. I already mentioned that shock and lock are stressed because of the tone length and the position in the bar. But there is more of it. The B flat of shock and the G here of lock create a special tension because of their position in the underlying chord, which is in both cases the fourth. A fourth is in a triad is called a suspension, and it is a dissonant sound which creates tension that cries to be relaxed or released by the third. And this is also what happens here. Both the A here and the F sharp are thirds of the correspondent triad F major and D major. This tone sequence can create a sad mood and emotion. And this is widely used in music theory, and I would rather say in music history, dating back to Renaissance music. It is called a sighing motif. I put two sighing motifs consecutively in different scales. Here is the first and here is the second. And this builds what is called in music theory a sequence, although it is a really short sequence, I have to admit. I found a quite famous example of using sighing motifs in the classic music repertoire. Please note that I do not want to compare my clumsy composition attempts with what this genius has created. This video is part of a series of videos we are preparing, and we will publish step by step. And this series is about the process of music creation. And today we covered composition, so musical ideas, melody, chord progression, riff, etc. So the first step obviously in music creation, but in future also videos will come up with the other steps of music production. So basically, I think one of the videos that you can already find on the channel is about mixing drums. I hope you found this video useful. If so, please subscribe, share and like it. And if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified whenever we will upload a new video. See you!